Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. Rigathi Gachagua yesterday went ballistic and destroyed Raila Odinga in America.
And let me tell you, this cousin movement is the greatest thing to have ever happened in Kenya.
Anafika anasema hi, God have mercy upon us. Mulisikia nyai cousin, ati hi cousin. Ukifika Ukambani nyai cousin.
Because our cousins have been misused by Raila for a long time. Long time. Every election cycle, he has been mobilizing my cousins. From the Mlembe nation, from the Kamba nation, from the Luya nation, from the Kisii nation, from the Mijikenda nation, from the Taita nation, and mobilizing all those cousins and cheating them that he's taking them to Canaan. And because people love Canaan, my cousins fell for it for many years. The minute he gets there, he doesn't intend to be president. He has no such intention. He's not interested. He likes power, but with no responsibility. He doesn't know how to take responsibility. So he creates problems. He is invited into government and starts eating. And that is why, like now, he is quiet. Because he's a very good observer of good manners. When you're on the table eating, you don't talk. So these cousins now have found their way as a family. And now all the cousins are talking the same language. So I saw Tinga the other day crying about cousins. He was crying in a funeral. Instead of mourning the late Phoebe Asio, he was mourning the loss of cousins from his grip. Because these cousins were mechanuka. And you know, the other day when he brought problems, he was invited to the table by Ruto to eat together. He forgot all the cousins and went alone. Yet he wanted these cousins to wait for him to mislead them every election.
In this video, I want us to do a critical analysis about that speech by Rigathi Gachagua. Because from all indications, Rigathi Gachagua is now done with William Samoei Arap Ruto. And his new target is none other than Raila Odinga.
I've seen Raila castigating at the police, at the shoot to kill order. How can he? William Ruto is his partner. Why is he addressing him through the press? They are brothers. They just sit and talk. Nataka kuambia huyo mzee ya maandamano, tafadhali, please, enda tafuta wenye walikuwa na kuunga mkono. Wachana na huyu rais wetu. The president is busy, he has work to do. Wewe umeenda umetafuta mzungu pale, naitwa Jeffrey Smith, ni mfanyikazi yako. He has a contract with you. He is a consultant. Unatuambia ati yako ati whistleblowing. Didi amesema filimbi ilikuwa kule kwa World Cup. Hii filimbi ni nini unafanya nayo saa hii? What you are doing, tunakuonea 18 wewe mzee. Wewe. Tunakuonea 18. What you are doing is what you have done all the years. 1997 ukashindwa na Moi. Ukaleta kisirani, ukamutisha nini, ukaitwa. You came to government through cooperation. Ukakuja, ukaharibu serikali ya Moi. Aliharibu wako haribu. Katoka hapo 2007 tukakulima na Mwai Kibaki. Ukaenda nyumbani. Ukaleta shida, ukaitwa. Ukakuja through nusu mkate, ukatatiza serikali. Ukakuja hapo tukakushinda. 2013 ukajaribu kuleta shida. Uhuru akitaka kuita wewe, huyu alikuwa deputy yake akamwambia hapana, wachana na hii mtu, atatuharibia serikali. 2017 tumekushinda. Umeleta kisirani, umeuzia Uhuru uoga. Si alimuuzia? Sasa Uhuru akanunua uoga, akamuita kwa serikali kwa handshake. Aliharibu serikali yetu au kuharibu? Tukakwama. Unga ikatoka 90 shillings mpaka 230. Deni ikatoka 2 trillion mpaka 10 trillion. Vijana milioni 6 hawana kazi. Watu CRB 14 million. Barabara zote sikasimama. Everything wewe Raila ukiwa na uhuru mkaharibu everything. Mkatuachia nchi hakuna chochote. Nikasema pale Kasarani mkasema mimi ni mjeuri. Ati nisiongee mbele ya wazungu. Kwani wazungu si walikuwa hapa tukawafukuza? Kwani mnawaogopa? Si lazima tuseme ukweli. Sasa hii maneno unalete tunakujua. Unataka atikulete na muna hii ati utuzie uoga ati tukuite. Ati vile tulienda hapa Nyanza juzi ati unafikiria tunaweza kuita wewe. Wewe hapana uzia huyu rais wetu uoga. And agree that this is wrong and they should stop it. So Bwana Raila Odinga, please, people of Kenya are not stupid. This is your brother, you say, you work together. Go to his office, mkunywa chai mwambie wachana na hiyo maneno. Sasa unatuambia tufanye nini sisi? Why is he telling us? You know, so I can tell you Raila Odinga brings nothing to the table.
Before we get into all those details, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. After his impeachment, Rigathi Gachagua took some short break. And after the break, Rigathi Gachagua announced to the country, especially the mountain, that he was going to form a party focusing on the mountain.
Maoni kwa kila mtu na bado ninaendelea, kwa hivyo nimechelewa kidogo, lakini tariki 9 Sunday coming ndio nitakuwa na nafasi nitoe ile interim report ya yale maoni nimepata, ile interim on Sunday jioni. Nitaongea kwa maredio zetu zote ndio nimueleze vile watu wameniambia hii, wanataka tupange namna hii, nitoe interim report, alafu niendelee kusikiza maoni ya kila mtu. Si ni mzuri kusikiza maoni? Na tena hatutaki kukibilia kwa sababu hatutaki kufanya makosa. We kama heti ya tiuru, urude wekate.
And indeed, Rigathi Gachagua formed his own political party. After forming that party, Rigathi Gachagua embarked on the tour of the mountain. And Kenyans really criticized Rigathi Gachagua for focusing on the mountain. Then Rigathi Gachagua decided to start moving out of the mountain. He went to Ukambani, and then Rigathi Gachagua went to the coastal region, where he began the rallying call of cousins.
Makuzo wakae pamoja wasikae pamoja. Watembee pamoja wasitembee. Hi cousins. Hi cousins. Hi cousins. Hi Makuzo. Hi cousins. Nisalimie makazini wengine kule.
Most Kenyans criticized Rigathi Gachagua for that call. But personally, I felt that Rigathi Gachagua was just right. Why? Politics is local. And Rigathi Gachagua wanted to stamp his authority in the mountain. So he had to do things which were pleasing to the ears of the people of the mountain. Because, for example, what would be the need of Rigathi Gachagua preaching national politics when he knows for sure that he cannot get the support beyond the mountain? So he was right to some extent for me. But taking the tribalism to the United States of America is where now I draw the line. Because that's a global audience. I want us to analyze the speech by Rigathi Gachagua, why he did it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my take, and they are going to take question format. My first question: can tribal politics carry the day in Kenya? Can it succeed? If you're to ask me, what Rigathi Gachagua is doing is trying to copy what William Ruto did in 2022. William Ruto rallied the Kikuyus and the Kalenjins, and he succeeded. Then William Ruto went further and came up with a narrative: the hustlers versus the dynasties. Rigathi Gachagua sat down somewhere and figured out that how can I appeal to the Luhya nation? How can I appeal to the Kisii? How can I appeal to the coastal people? I can appeal to them by invoking the Bantus and also the Nilotes politics. The Luos, the Kalenjins, the Masais, those are Nilotes. So I think Rigathi Gachagua figured out that Bantus are actually the majority. Just like William Ruto figured out at that time that the hustlers were the majority. Whether that can translate to actual votes, I don't know. But the question is, can tribal politics, can such kind of politics carry the day in Kenya? We all agree that Kenyan politics is largely tribal. Why do you think the mountain dumped Ruto? Because Ruto foundation with the mountain was weak. It was not built on a very strong foundation, the tribal politics. That's why it fell quickly. So for me, that tribal politics is what is going to destroy Rigathi Gachagua. Because let's take, for example, we go for an election. And Rigathi Gachagua successfully managed to stamp his authority in Mount Kenya, but fails to get the presidency. So what? So that's number one. Number two, and this is a very important question. Can the Gen Zs, who will be determining the 2027 politics in the Republic of Kenya, buy into the tribal politics? Because you are all here when the young people told us that for them they are tribeless, they are leaderless, and of course, those many other factors. 2027 politics will be won based on how these Gen Zs will be voting. If you are to give them the kind of politics Rigathi Gachagua is trying to play, and the kind of politics William Ruto will be planning to play, where will they go? Will they stick with Rigathi, or will they now decide that all these two groups are not helping us, and therefore we are going to go with our own person? That question is very, very important, because I remember when Rigathi Gachagua was addressing some Gen Zs in the US, he had hectic time. If I were him, I would have learned a lesson at that time, because trying to say, and based on his speech, he was like, Raila Odinga has been using the cousins. That's what he's been saying. He's saying that Raila Odinga has been using the cousins. Let's face the realities. Raila, in the Republic of Kenya, is probably the only politician, and you can't take that away from him, who has received support from across the country. In 2007, apart from the mountain, the entire country rallied around Raila Odinga. Even in the last election, if you are to take votes, you'll realize that Raila Odinga received support of the country, the entire. William Ruto's support was confined to the Kalenjin nation and the mountain. Raila Odinga's support was across. He even got the support from the mountain. So by Rigathi Gachagua trying to pick the cousins from that basket, what is he trying to do? The Gen Zs will not allow that. Number three, my third question, will the tribal mobilization attract national appeal? I'm asking that question because one of my friends, who is a great supporter of this channel, called Sospita Otieno, was in that particular meeting. He's a Luo. After this video, I want to call him and ask him how he felt. Another friend of mine called Anwar Sadat has been a vocal supporter of Rigathi Gachagua. But since Rigathi Gachagua went to the US, he's been unable to explain his support to the rest of the country, because Rigathi Gachagua's meetings are just kind of tribal. So the question is, can that tribal mobilization appeal to the rest of the country? And if it won't appeal to the rest of the country, where is it placing people like Matiang'i? Because someone like Matiang'i comes from Kisii, And Matiang'i is hoping to win national support. Can it appeal? I don't know. Maybe you can answer. Maybe you can help answer that question. And my fourth question is simple. Is Rigathi Gachagua gifting William Ruto with a campaign agenda? I'm asking that question because we all agree that William Ruto is not a pushover. And William Ruto can always turn things around. If there's one thing which William Ruto can easily do, and courtesy of this mistake Rigathi is making, is to rally Kenyans against Rigathi. It will be fashioned in a manner to project rallying Kenyans against Gachagua, but in real sense, it will be a campaign which should not happen. Isolating the mountain. It's something which can be easily done. And lastly, is Rigathi Gachagua vindicating Parliament for his impeachment? Because one of the grounds Rigathi Gachagua was impeached was because he was accused of being tribal. At that time, his narrative was simple. Shares politics. Which even at that time for me, I didn't disagree with Rigathi Gachagua. Because we were all there when William Ruto was making promises to the Luhya nation. He was making promises to the Kikuyu nation. The only thing which Rigathi Gachagua ought to have realized at that time, because it was obvious, there was no way William Ruto was going to promise to give the Luhya nation 30% of the government and then give Rigathi Gachagua's cousins or brothers and sisters there now, let's say 50%. That would be 80. Then it was going to mean that the Kalenjin nation, who also voted, and the rest of the country were going to get 20%. Those are the mistakes which some of us do not want people like Rigathi Gachagua to take us back to. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. Until next time, this is Makwiny. Bye-bye.